From the next few minutes, I want you to reason with me from the subtopic, an empire state of mind. Somebody say an empire state of mind. Now, I want you to be clear that the precious works whatever state you find yourself in. We are finding evidence all throughout the Bible where people at different levels and different states give the precious and it changes their state. We can go all the way to the widow woman that's down to her last meal. She gives the precious and it changes her state. We can see throughout the Bible the blessing of the precious is the precious works in every situation. Somebody shout every situation. Now, I want you to understand this very clearly today, that Solomon was not down to his last. He was already a wealthy man. But being wealthy does not exempt you out of giving the precious. The Bible tells us here that Solomon was committed and connected. Somebody say committed and connected. He was a man that loved God like his father loved God. Solomon was committed and connected. That's a blessing because I find sometimes when God starts blessing some people, they get unconnected and uncommitted. There is a group of people that when they were down to their last, they were all up in God's face. But when God starts to add certain kind of blessings in their lives, they get disconnected and and not committed. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Okay. There is a whole group of people that only make God a priority when they need God. Okay, God, you're going to make me say that. I don't know who God's talking to, but I'm going to talk to the sisters a minute because I've seen this syndrome a bunch of times where when there's no man in your life, God is the priority. But as soon as a piece of a man shows up, not a whole one, priorities shift. Yeah. There are people that when they're struggling, they wake up in prayer every day. Talking in tongues and the whole nine. But one of the ways I can tell where your heart is, when you change states, do you change disciplines? You know, it's a blessing here because Solomon is showing I'm rich and I still love the Lord. It says that he, like David, walked holy. It grieves my soul because I got to say this. I know we're in contemporary times, but holiness is still right. Holiness is still right. And it's not some arbitrary thing. God gives us holiness as boundaries to keep us out of trouble. Holiness is still right. But there was a piece in here. It said, except he was burning incense at the high places. And I'm like, okay, what is that? Because there was no temple, people that love God was offering sacrifices like the people that didn't love God. They were offering sacrifices to other gods. Solomon had made the mistake of slipping into what other people were doing. He still loved the Lord, but he has slipped into some common practices. You know, like those of us that start doing stuff that's not profoundly Christian. And God is kind of saying, you know, it's not really sin, but you confusing folk. Okay, y'all know like the crystal people in life, the people that now, nothing's wrong with the crystal. God made the crystal. It's just you got some folk that's worshiping the crystal. And then when you put the crystal on, it's confusing folk. Some people can't tell what we believe because we doing everything everybody else is doing. And it's causing confusion that takes away from God. Because then when you prosper, somebody say, well, let me get one of them crystals. I need a crystal too. No, you need the Lord. That's what you need. You need the Lord. So Solomon gets to the place where he understands, okay, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing here because he's confusing people. So Solomon says it like this: let me give a proper offering that declares who I really believe.
Put your hands together. Oh, yeah. Love God with faith. Oh, yeah. I was running in circles, jumping the hurdles, getting caught in that rush of doing so much. I was feeling kind of worn out, always checking the boxes, trying to be flawless, always spinning my head and catching my breath. I was too afraid to blow it down. I told myself to keep this up, that God wanted more than just my love, but I was complicating things, was just like me.